Hey, this is Noah. I've got some news I'd like to cover about Atari, but first I want to catch you up to speed on the Atari VCS and some of the other things that Atari has been doing. This is Fergal Mac Conulad. He's the one that was responsible for coming up with the Atari VCS, or as it was originally known, the Atari box. He was apparently inspired after he saw that people would connect their laptops to TVs and use applications to talk to friends. Basically, he was interested in making a PC for the living room as a set-top box type of deal, just like the Steam machines. The device was first teased in June 2017 at E3 as a product of poor timing because the NES Classic released the previous year, so people originally assumed that it was going to be just that, a classic console with a collection of old games, but that's not entirely true. In December 2017, the pre-orders were postponed, and this guy, Michael Arzd, took over the production while Fergal left Atari. They ran an Indiegogo campaign, and after many delays, it finally shipped to backers in 2020, with a proper commercial release in 2021. In 2022, they announced they're going to cease manufacturing on the Atari VCS console, and instead are going to prioritize supplementary hardware like accessories, controllers, the like. That's a bit of speculation, but that's kind of what they were wording in their press release. In the interim, Atari invested in a lot of other things, like announcing that they're going to do some kind of gaming hotel and the blockchain, because of course they were. I believe I remembered seeing some people wondering if Atari was using everyone's Atari VCSs to farm on the blockchain, which I find kind of funny, because even if they were, they're probably not going to get a whole lot done because it didn't sell that much and the console is not that powerful. Anyway, now in 2023 we have some more interesting news that is admittedly not directly related to that, but I just wanted you to understand where we are at with Atari as a company. Over the last few months, Atari has been kind of quietly buying up gaming IPs. In March, they announced that they had acquired Berserk, Frenzy, and 10 other Stern Electronics arcade classics. In April, more than 100 PC and console titles from the 80s and 90s, including Bubsy, as well as the trademarks to Accolade and GTI. And most recently in May, more than a dozen Atari 2600 games published under the M Network label, including Astro Blast and Frogs and Flies. I am concerned about the implications of these acquisitions, but they specify on each of the press releases that they will seek to expand digital and physical distribution of the classic titles, create new games based on the IPs, and explore brand and merchandising collaborations. And weirdly enough, it says that exact phrasing on every single one after the first paragraph. Weird. Now, to be fair, it's most likely that these are just being purchased for the sake of more collections. Atari recently released the Atari 50 Anniversary Collection, and it actually was quite good from what I've seen of reviews, saying that it, like, I think, what was it, The Verge? Somebody said there was, like, an actual, like, an accomplishment in video game preservation, because it's not just strictly the games, like, it feels like a museum. But, given what they've actually said, they are at least able to consider making new games for these old IPs. I'm scared. I'm wondering if they would greenlight more modern Bubsy games, like we saw in Bubsy, the Woolies Strike Back and Paws on Fire, or God forbid them greenlighting porting Bubsy 3D to modern platforms, since it is only one of 2 Bubsy games not on Steam. I apologize if I'm coming across as a little bit pessimistic towards the whole thing, but honestly, it could be worse. It could be the likely vaporware and television Amico. And if I attract flack for that, know that I gave them money, so I'm in that boat. Anyway, what do you think of Atari acquiring all of these IPs? Are you expecting them to just release collections? Or do you expect them to actually make some new stuff and throw an extra bone Do you think they're going to do something with Bubsy specifically? I'm scared. This is Noah. Atari. See ya.